Hey viewers, you're watching The Savera and I'm Vidhi Joshi. Around 2,000 protests took place across all 50 US states on Saturday, targeting President Donald Trump's immigration policies and what demonstrators called authoritarian overreach. The protests, organized under the slogan "No Kings," were led by a coalition of activist groups that also coordinated past demonstrations such as the April 5 hands-off rallies. Protests ranged in size from small rural gatherings to major urban turnouts. In New York City, police estimated 50,000 demonstrators chanted anti-ICE slogans and held signs demanding justice and Trump's removal. California saw more than 100,000 participants across 200 locations, including the small mountain town of Idlewild and even Santa Catalina Island. In Los Angeles, described as the epicenter of protest activity, over 25,000 people gathered in response to immigration raids. Mayor Karen Bass urged peaceful demonstrations, warning against destruction that could fuel negative portrayals of the city. Other large protests occurred in the cities like Atlanta, Nashville, Miami, and Houston, with Houston seeing over 15,000 largely young Latino protesters. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., Trump hosted a military parade for the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary, coinciding with his 79th birthday. Protest organizers intentionally avoided Washington, describing the parade as a display of dominance. Trump warned protesters would face very big force if they disrupted the event. Protesters voiced fears of Democratic backsliding, comparing Trump to a monarch. Demonstrators sang protest songs, waved American flags, and banged pots and pans. Despite the massive turnout, no arrests were reported in New York, and organizers emphasized non-violent action. Speakers across the nation, including New York Mayor Ras Baraka and community leaders, called for unity in defending immigrant rights and democratic values. The protest marked a coordinated day of defiance amid growing concerns about Trump's use of military and immigration enforcement powers. The trigger, notably, these demonstrations are driven by anger over the Trump administration's stringent enforcement of immigration laws, which critics have said are tearing apart immigrant families. The protest erupted on June 6 after immigration and custom enforcement officials began combing the garment district in Los Angeles in search of people suspected of being in the U.S. without legal permission. The ICE raids took place in areas with large Latino populations. This increased enforcement sparked widespread protests across the town, with demonstrators voicing opposition to the raids and the broader immigration policies. The protest also led to confrontations between the demonstrators and law enforcement, resulting in multiple arrests. Protesters have organized marches, sit-ins, and freeway shutdowns demanding an end to the deportations and the protection of immigrant rights. Faith leaders from various religious backgrounds have also joined the protest, advocating for non-violent resistance and offering support to affected communities. Additionally, sports organizations like the NWSL and WNBA players associations have issued statements condemning the raids and expressing solidarity with immigrants. The situation worsened after the Trump administration on June 7 ordered the deployment of the National Guard, claiming the limited protests were a rebellion against the U.S. government. Notably, this is the first time since 1965 that a U.S. president has mobilized American military forces in a domestic political situation without the request of the state's governor. Subsequently, hundreds of U.S. Marines were ordered to arrive in LA to quell the protest. As Governor Newsom condemned the Trump administration's move, demonstrations escalated, with thousands of protesters gathering in downtown LA on June 8. ICE officers and federal agents used tear gas and pepper balls in an attempt to disperse the crowds. Isolated episodes of vandalism emerged, and a line of spray-painted Waymo driverless cars were set on fire. On Wednesday, several cities across the U.S., including New York and Seattle, braced themselves for a new round of protests, indicating a likely expansion of demonstrations that begin in LA. That's all for now. Stay tuned to The Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.